Okay, so we finished off with going to Patrick's Haven. The walk feels endlessly long. I try to focus on the task of locating Reynard, but my thoughts just won't line up. It's definitely not a promising end to the night. Before I know it, we're already there. This is our stop. Let's head inside. Dawn is nearly upon us. I step through the door first, but leaves it open for me. I see it as a slight sign of trust, or maybe I'm just too exhausted to be on the lookout for tricks. Home sweet home. Peeking into a kindred's haven is kind of like trying to read their diary, assuming they have one. Our van, which I share with my crew, might tell a story of covert operations, daring escapes, and a tight-knit camaraderie. For those with a flair for drama, that is. To anyone else, it would just seem like a mobile hideout for a few smugglers. Granted, I haven't exactly been a guest in many havens, but this one is practically shouting its love affair with books and a certain, let's say, a relaxed approach to tidiness, and that Patrick certainly didn't expect to have company, like, ever. Also, there's a fire outside the window. Every inch of it's covered in books, papers, and random notes, a wild mosaic of ideas, from the mundane to the outright unhinged. I swear there are even scribbles on napkins in the mix. Patrick seems a little bit flustered that I caught his haven in such disarray. He rushes to clean up, picking up an armful of paper along the way. Make yourself at home, the couch is all yours. At least the windows, all still open, have been secured with steel shutters. All in all, the place feels rather cozy. A pretty decent haven, I think. Just a tad too lonely for my tastes. Among the clutter, a vast collection of James Joyce stands out, surrounded by other books that feel more like homework than leisure reading. Patrick's choice in literature? Definitely on the no fun side. The stack of papers he's clutching is kept under wraps and impossible to read, but the ones littering the rest of the space? They're up for grabs. I stretch my neck to get a closer look, ditching any attempt to be sneaky. I need to find some disjointed snippets about history, voices, oracles, and the like. I shoot him a disappointed frown, only to be met with his painfully blank gaze. Clearly, someone's got their poker face down pat. A history buff, don't take this the wrong way, but you totally give off that vibe. Why would I take it the wrong way? I give a casual shrug, and he offers a smile in return. Not exactly brimming with joy, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Get some rest. We've got a busy night ahead of us. It's hard to put up a fight against common sense, especially when you're running on empty. I give him a vague wave, settle onto the couch amid a few stray papers, and let myself sink into the deep, dark void of rest. A few hours prior. Tremere Laboratory. This is an intermission. Okay. So this is stuff that's happening in the background, I assume. I'm sorry, I'm trying to also spread butter on some bread right now so I can have a bit of a snack. The steady drone of machinery blends with the aroma of ancient dust and robust alchemy, enduring a palpable atmosphere that teases the senses. It's a relentless reminder of the raw power in action, a sensation that never leaves you, no matter how far away you go. It is a common theme across Tremere Labs, or did she add a personal twist just for my sake? Tremere. The arcane clan Tremere were once a house of mortal mages who sought immortality but found only undeath. As vampires, they perfected ways to bend their own blood to their will, employing their sorceries to master both the mortal and vampire world. Their power makes them valuable. Few vampires trust their scheming ways. I see. Interesting. That's beside the point tonight. Tonight, the stakes are sky high. No room for getting sidetracked. Oh, Aisling's back. I'm only going to ask this once. You do understand all the specifics, correct? The procedure and the risks that come with it. My gaze drifts down to my necklace, the symbol of my cause. I nod in silent agreement. Make no mistake, should you attempt to violate our arrangement, I have my methods to track you down. Believe me, that would be far less pleasant than what's coming next. Let's just get this over with, shall we? I'm instantly hit with pain so intense, it feels like my flesh is being torn asunder, and no matter how much I try, I can't black out for even the briefest moment of blissful reprieve. My consciousness clings on, stubborn as I am, as if making me pay for my plentiful sins or paving the road for the new ones to come. But the agony is worth it, and so is the prize that's coming after. Ooh, okay. So we finished the first chapter. Let's go. So we've got 4 nights following this. So there'll be 5 nights total, I would assume. Just trying to... Okay. Oh, and then I have to end night, I think. Excellent. Okay. Just then, like, yes. Press any button to continue. If you insist. 6 nights till New Year. Okay. Again and again, it's the same sensation. Sudden plunge into frigid waters, snapping me back to reality. Not exactly a graceful awakening, more of a shit, here we go again kind of moment. In the midst of this routine, there's always that distinctive first touch, thing that jolts me back to consciousness. This time, it's the gentle rustle of pages turning, subtle nudge back to the waking world. I crack open an eye and look around. In his derelict armchair, Patrick sits bent over a heavy tome, pencil in hand, etching thoughts onto the yellowed pages. His gaze never leaves the text. He must have sensed me awaken. As I wanted to. Patrick. I see. I've been butchering it then, right? Well, now I feel fucking bad. It's Parik. Okay, wow. I crack open an eye and look around. In his derelict armchair, Parik sits bent over a heavy tome, pencil in hand, etching thoughts onto the yellowed pages. His gaze never leaves the text, but he must have sensed me awaken. I kind of just assumed it was like Italian or something. I thought it was just like... No. Good evening. I hope you slept well. I did, actually. Not worse than in any other place, at least. You kind of take what you can get when you live on the road. I am well aware. Oh, am I in the presence of another esteemed vagabond? More of a traveller by necessity. Still, baffling as it is, it seems we have something in common. So, did I snooze through anything noteworthy? He jots down one last note and carefully closes the book before finally glancing up at me, face unyielding and cold as ice. That would depend on your definition of noteworthy, but I have been pondering our next steps. Oh, do tell. I have been working with the Anarchs for the past 2 years and forged friendly relationships with some of them, talk included, although in this particular case, I would rather avoid his presence. That makes 2 of us. Judging by his sour face last night, he was not happy with me standing your way like that. Well, I am of help to him in the current situation. Talk is more than occupied with the goings-on within his turf at the moment. He may have neither time nor patience for a visit. Yeah, alright, so what do you propose then? The allegations against your sire. See, I happen to know someone who used to be deeply entrenched in the darker corners of the Red Market, an Anarch working not too far from here. If Casal truly wields as much influence as the court suggests, my contract could offer substantial aid. Substantial, you say? Wow, can't argue with that, except it's a no-go, amigo. His face crunches up in surprise and he repeats the words as if trying to taste them for poison. No-go, amigo? Look, I get it, you have friends and contacts aplenty, but so do I. Also, I know Renard Casal like the back of my hand. We've been dealing all around the city on and off for almost 2 years. There's got to be somebody here who knows where he bailed. Parik furrows his brow, waiting for me to elaborate further. This is the real quandary. Two little angels whisper steadily into my ears, one having fallen spectacularly into the pits of hell, while the other one has only sorted vaguely downwards, spouting completely contradictory notions. In the end, I ignore them both, as I often do, and choose a third option, the best option, one where I don't have to reveal much at all. There's this one guy who hangs around Harlem, Eli Sansrick. Apparently he's one of the few kindred that didn't burn with hatred for Renard, so it must mean they were getting along. He tilts his head slightly at this name of my, well, let's just call it a contact. Okay. Eli Sansrick, the Serpent. Why? Do you have something against them? Do you know what the ministry... Never mind that. Do you have the slightest inkling about what Sansrick's capable of? The ministry always has something to offer. This often cult-like clan recruits those able to employ temptation as a weapon. They embrace those with the will and means to sway, entrap, and ultimately liberate their targets from whatever they seek. The victim's possessions, allegiance, or even faith. To the serpents, everything has a price. Oh, I'm not fond of that look, the one filled with pity. But somehow I can't seem to bring out a credible lie to spite him. Go on, enlighten me. Put it bluntly, only in the most desperate situation would anyone with an ounce of sanity consider seeking out Eli Sansrick. Perfect lead given my circumstances. I can go find him now, have a little chat, and be back in no time. We could go find him, but it's far from the best course of action at the moment. Sansrick is known to be extremely dangerous and territorial. We should not take him lightly. I propose we go to the Anarchs first. At least there we will not be in danger of losing our heads. You're being so dramatic. We're going to be fine. What's the worst that can happen? I believe us literally losing our heads is most definitely in the realm of possibility. We could split the party, you know? Again, we most certainly could not. See, I think, sweet lord, this guy. Time to kick things up a notch. I fished a weighted coin out of my belt bag. Whoops, sorry. I think I reached my limit there. How about we just flip a coin? Heads we go to Sansrick, tails we go to Harlem. You mean the Bronx? I hate it when people actually listen to what I say. Fine. Call it already. I see him hesitate, eyes going blank for a moment. His hand almost inadvertently crawls towards his ring, spinning it around a couple of times. Squinting at it, I finally managed to make out that it's a dice ring. One of those real dorky ones that D&D nerds wear when they want to look their silliest. Finally, Parrot looks back at me, gaze as sharp as ever. Alright, but you call it. Suit yourself, buddy. It's your funeral. Wait, which one was which? Heads. Okay, we'll go Harlem. Tails. I allow my head to hide a little smile. The weighted coin glimmers in the warm light of the floor lamp as it soars through the air, spinning quicker than the wheel of fate. It lands safely on my outstretched hand, and I flip it onto my palm, showing it confidently to Parrot without even a glance. He looks at it and smiles up at me like the cat that got the cream. Heads. Fancy that? Seems we're going to the Bronx after all. What? Impossible. Truly impossible. This has never happened before. Traitorous coin. Have I not been good to you? Have I not kept you safe in my pocket all these years? Is that how you repay me? So she sits there and goes, oh, wow, this guy's got this dorky D&D dice, but like, she treats her coin the same way that we treat our D&D dice, so. I mean, what the actual fuck? Who is he? Did David Blaine finally freeze to death and turn into this lanky trickster? How did he, best 2 out of 3? Come on, we can take my car. Oh shit, that was one battle loss. Yeah, your car. Wait, you mean the black rattle trap out front? It's a perfectly serviceable vehicle whose minuscule size allows for... You know what? How about we just go and you can enjoy your minuscule vehicle in silence. I'm sensing the enemies to lovers here. I'm sensing the enemies to lover. Get up on here. You are cold. You are chilly. Get in the sack. Stupid coin. Gotta take the L, I guess. Not my ideal move, but tagging along with Cater might get me some answers. Plus, having seen Torque's reaction at Elysium, those Alex might have a soft spot for Parrot and share more than they would if I asked them myself. Oh wait, this is like an actual drawing. Oh, I'm gorgeous. Holy shit. Tarek's car is indeed a perfectly serviceable vehicle, and that's legally all I'm allowed to say. I'm having a blast shuffling through all the ancient cassette tapes he's collected, judging his taste in music out loud. Another Bohemian Rhapsody? Seriously? Huh, I thought I only had one of them. Terrific. He says it with the straightest of faces, and I can't help but burst into laughter. God forbid you get with the times. How about a legit car radio, you know, to update your playlist? There's the one sporting a Walkman on her belts. Touché, I guess. Still, I do have a soft spot for Queen. It never gets old. Just saying, you're missing out on a whole lot if you ignore stuff from the 21st century. The music scene's been booming. Ever had a K-pop? You're giving off some serious sasaeng energy, my guy. I don't know if that's how pronounced. If it's not, I do apologize. He eyes me with sudden interest. Do you think any of them have released cassette tapes? Aside from our contrasting views on modernity, our little journey proceeds smoothly. Too smoothly, in fact. A violent itch grows within me to tease, scratch, prod, and I can't help but give in. You said you've been in New York for 2 years now? That sounds about right. And how's that been for you? Do you like it here? I do. What's up with all these questions? Killing time, mostly. We can play I Spy instead, if you prefer. I'd rather not. Okay, how did you end up with the Anarchs? Would you believe me if I said it was an accident? Maybe. What kind of accident? I landed in New York about 2 years ago. Shortly after, I managed to save a handful of kindred, mostly of the Anarch variety, although I do believe there was some Camarilla in the mix. It earned me what I would call tentative trust from talk, and not much else, as you might have assessed back in Elysium. Wow, how noble. So how did you go from kindred hero to Camarilla's gopher? There's a pause as he's genuinely considering the trajectory of his own life. I have a knack for playing peacemaker, apparently. And while talk considers it an accent, the Camarilla thinks it is a chink in his armor. Compromise isn't really in their vocabulary. Oh, I definitely do know. But if you save some Camarilla kindred as well, why not start with them and carry some favor? They're the fat cats of New York, right? I am a caitiff, Callie. My kind is not exactly welcome around the Ivory Tower. A rare feeling of guilt washes over me, even though there's no bitterness in his voice. After a brief, uncomfortable silence, I abruptly change the subject and lead the conversation on a slightly different track. So we have the Camarilla and the Anarchs. That's pretty much standard fare. Anybody else to keep an eye out for? No. His response is so swift, it borders on phony, but his face remains as impassive as always. Right, how about cool stories about the Anarchs? You seem to gel with them the most. He hesitates briefly. His hands, while placed firmly on the steering wheel, meet in the middle as his fingers start nervously fiddling with the dice ring. Deep down, the logical part of me knows I should back off. The readily available part, the one right beneath my cold dead skin, lurches at this opportunity to sneak straight into the vault of secrets. Come on, I'm dying of boredom here. You must have some wild tales to tell, something not found in your pile of books. Fidgeting with the ring stops, his hands return to the perfectly sensible 9-3 on the wheel. No wild tales, really. I mostly just talk to people. Riveting. What kind of people? Finbloods for the most part. I was particularly interested in one called Sana, but mentioning her tends to shut conversations down, probably because she met her final death 4 years back, at the hands of the sheriff, no less. Kadir, wow, she must have really stirred the pot. Well, she did go on a mortal killing spree, but I'm not one to judge whether or not the punishment fit the crime. Hey, Bubby. Yeah. Is it sore? Yeah, a little bit. It's very solid. Yeah.
You want onions in? Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know a thing or two about walking the line between right and wrong, so I don't think I'm in any place to judge her either. Still, what pushed her to do it? He hesitates again. Why so secretive about a Fimblood going rogue? She claimed she was acting under orders from Cain, urging her to kill. Cain, a mythical figure considered to be the first and most powerful vampire, the same person as Cain from the biblical stories. Yeah, okay. This is a story. This is a myth I've heard a lot of times, like vampire worlds and things. As that Cain was the original vampire in a lot of books that have vampires included. Some vampires refer to themselves as Cainites, members of the race of Cain. My eyebrow shoots up, waiting for him to continue. He allegedly told Sana the end of the world is nigh. Somehow that devolved into a killing spree, and she never questioned why the creator of our whole species would specifically choose her, just straight up went on a rampage. For some reason, this perfectly innocent remark really gets on his nerves. Look, I'm just telling you what I've heard. I never met Sana myself. I just found her condition fascinating. Hey, no need to get worked up. I glanced at your research notes. I know you're really into the inner voices stuff. I'm not judging. It's just we can end this conversation anytime you want, really. It's just you have some really niche hobbies, you know? Maybe I interest you in, I don't know. Well, may I interest you in, I don't know, crocheting or something? A lot less intense than chasing crazies. The kindred might not need air. But Patrick sighs so profoundly, probably echoes into the very afterlife, or wherever else Sana went after meeting her final death. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure what I expected from an anarch outpost in one of the most densely populated cities in the Americas. Maybe I saw a hideaway sitting right next to the local rats. Maybe a few Prohibition-era cellars linked by Weber Street corridors. Maybe even a chaotic squat in a dilapidated brownstone. But a grimy auto repair shop with a bold red sign proudly declaring it's Mato's place? That definitely wasn't on my list. Are you sure this is the spot? I can ask for directions or something. Ouch, the silent treatment. Tarek parks carefully, checking the side to see if he's aligned perfectly with the curb. Finally, with a satisfied nod, he turns the engine off. Let's go. And he gets out of the car just like that. I follow, of course, not because he told me to, but while hanging solo in a car at night gets real boring real fast, even with Queen D-do-daying in the background. Matei? Wait, what did I just say? Mato? Are you there? I fully expect company, but I still flinch when a huge burly kindred steps out from the shadows, quieter than a mouse. His grime-covered arms are all set to give Parik a bear hug. But he stops himself at the very last moment, either from plain common sense or because I'm there. I love him. He's so cute. Look at his little face. Paddy, looking good, my man. What can I do for you? Need me to take a look at that old chunker of yours? Paddy, chunker. Oh, that's loud. Oh, this is gonna be good. I grin at Paddy expectantly, only to, what is this? Why is this so loud? Guess who's back for dinner? Welcome back from dinner. Was it good? I grin at Paddy expectantly, only to be met with his gaze full of discontent. My clunker is in top shape, thank you, Mato. Besides, I can see you're rather busy tonight. Still, I hoped you would have a moment for a few questions, though. It won't take long. Which one is it that's making this noise? Is it sound effects? Yeah, I wasn't. I got a message from my sister-in-law. Oh no, is everything okay? Whichever one it is, it's just not getting quieter, is it? Like, genuinely, it's not getting quieter. Wait, even with master volume set to 0, it's still playing. Which one is it then? Let me turn it down on the fucking bar here where it's turn it down. It's just loud. Everything's okay, that's good. Check the volume on that. Still really loud, isn't it? Let's go for my older brother. Hey, yo, let's go. We take those. Matto erupts into laughter, patting Paddy on the shoulder, a hand as big as a dinner plate. Any mortal will get pulverized by a friendly little hat like that. This gentle giant is truly something else. What sort of chocolate? White chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate? Anything for you, my man. And speaking of, who's this you've bought? Matto's gaze cuts right through me, his hawkish eyes surprisingly cool and sharp despite his rugged exterior. A split second passes before I realise he's sizing me up, and that I'm coming up short. Matto probably wouldn't spare me a second glance if it weren't for Parik. Matto, meet Callie. She's got in a bit of a situation with the ivory tower. You see, well, to put it short, her execution is on hold, provided she delivers the council a sire's head on a silver platter. Matto lets out a long whistle. Can't whistle, so imagine. His eyes gaining a touch of warmth, dare I say, grudging respect. Damn, what's your sire accused of? That's kind of what we're trying to piece together. Ever come across a lick who goes by Reynard Cassell? Reynard, huh? Can't say it rings a bell. What's his deal? Blood trade, among other things. Parik says it quietly, sharply, with no hesitation. I swear I see a bit of a tear drain from Matto's face. He almost drops a dirty rag he's been fiddling with ever since we got here. A tense silence fills the air, stretching like an endless rubber band. Thankfully, just as I'm a second away from blurting out some nonsense to break it, Matto speaks up. I left that shit behind, man, you know that. I know, believe me. We're not here to dredge up the past. We just need a direction. Nothing more, nothing less. Surely there is someone who's still in the loop, someone who might have heard some rumours. Matto falls silent, avoiding Parik's eyes. Internally, I'm giving Parik a standing ovation. I mean, I'm well aware I've misjudged my caitiff caretaker, but damn if he's not a wire puller. Maybe he can even teach me a thing or two. I get it, it's a difficult situation for you, but I was really hoping you'd help me out here. You know, I would not hesitate to reciprocate as I have in the past. Yeah, I know. Seems more resigned than irritated, but still refuses to speak. Eyes downcast, body language borderline deer in headlights. There must be some juicy history between those two, and I make sure to remember that information later. Eric shoots me a quick look, but before he can double down on the guilt tripping, I flash my most charming grin and step forward. You see, I've only known Paddy here for what, a single night? Turns out it's more than enough to figure out he's pretty good at killing the vibe when he puts his mind to it. Landing an outraged glare from the caitiff, which I cheerfully ignore, and an unexpected chuckle from Matto. I count my blessings and push on. Look, I don't know the first thing about you. The whole blood trade drama or whatever, that's none of my business. I'm not about to dig in your dirt. Survival's the game we're all playing, right? Throwing a Reynard quote out there is a kind of cheap, but it tends to work like a charm. So I'll back off. Plus, I'm in a spot where I really can't afford to have anyone else in this town be pissed off at me. Yeah, gotcha. It's just that no need to spin out for me. Gnarly past is sort of my thing, you know? Let's just drop the whole shebang, right? He nods hesitantly, and I'm not sure if he caught on to my attempt to win him over. I really hope he didn't. I've already scanned his workshop and caught a bait or two I can feed him to keep him on the hook. Hey, you run a garage, yeah? Got any spare hydraulic jacks lying around? My leveling system completely bailed on me a few nights back. A leveling system? That's a new one. Didn't figure you for an RV type. What's your right? I mean, it kind of started his life as a Class C Mini Winnie, but after years of messing with it and adding stuff, it's basically a custom build now. Oh, and it's a six-wheeler. It lets out a whistle so clear, it's almost musical. Modified chasers, huh? Color me intrigued. I'd love to get a look at the beast. Maybe it's just a simple fix for the jacks, like some wiring gone bad. No power getting through. Nope, checked that already. When those jacks decide it's game over, there's no coming back. It's not a big deal, really. I just hate having anything break on me when I'm out and about, you know? Tell me about it. I used to spend a lot of time on the road myself. Yeah? What was your haunt? You left Minnesota. Been ages since I went back, though. Why is that? Oh, you know, stuff, business responsibilities, and then I just sort of gave up on it. Well, if you ever get hit with a sudden wave of nostalgia, I can swing by and pick you up after I'm done with all this Camarilla bullshit, of course. I might be hope playing trips on me, but he seems more at ease now. Maybe even warmed up to me by a degree or two. You're Class C, that's your haven, right? Right on. Fully decked, sun-proofed, still cans and all, reliable, and minty fresh mobile haven. Damn, I really need to see that masterpiece sometime. Give me a few nights to sort my stuff out and I'll show you all its quirks. He cracks an actual smile, looking both wistful and excited. You know what? I might take you up on that offer. Deal. Just keep those fingers crossed for me, alright? I've got to navigate my way out of this Camarilla mess first, remember? I gleefully sift through Matteo's treasures, pretending I didn't see him watch me like a hawk, clearly fighting a vicious internal battle. But in the end, neither of us breaks our silent standoff. It's time we head out. We still need to find someone who can actually give us some answers. Sorry to bother you, Matteo. Thanks for your time. Ow, that's cold, even by Paris standards, but it sets me up perfectly. I smile brightly at Matteo and wave a little. Goodbye, Matteo. Look after this little Shangri-La of yours, okay? We turn around to leave and I quietly count the steps, but before I reach free, Matteo curses under his breath and speaks up. Hold up. Paris shoots me a meaningful look, but it's gone by the time we both turn back to the friendly giant. Matteo's gnawing on his bottom lip and twisting the rag between his fingers. Yes? I like that his name just changed from Parik to Paddy. I really am out of that business, Paddy. I know, Matteo. Still, some whispers find their way to my ears, and nobody likes gossip more than a buzzed up kindred. Ain't that the truth? Usually comes in real handy too. Yeah, so there's this thin blood alchemist, Skylar is her name, I think, hangs around at Sonny's a lot. Sonny's? Empire of the Sun. It's a local anarch dive. Yeah, exactly, Sonny's. If anybody knows anything about blood trade, it's her. She's the only albino around too, so you won't mistake her for none. Thank you, Matteo. That is all we need. I owe you big time. Who knows, you might have saved my skin there. Don't mention it. Still, we should get going. Take care. Not so fast, runt. Also, they're kindred in this city and their love for lurking. Or is it me who's losing edge? Miss Sorrento, what a pleasure. The air crackles their mutual glares. Parik's stoic, hers livid. Matteo waves at her awkwardly, to which she responds with a curt nod. Me? I might as well be invisible to her. Talk needs you. Now. Why? I came here to tell you, not to debate you, Katith. Figure it out on your own. Parik tries to hide his frustration, but his jaw is set and his shoulders tight. Fine, let's get moving, Callie. Sorry, I'm trying to read what her badge says. It's like jewel up or something. I think you heard me right. Talk summoned you. Your Ravnos pup is not invited. She turns on her heel and walks off into the night. The cluttered car shop suddenly feels a touch more welcoming, as if starlight broke through after a storm. This is still so loud. Fucking noise in the background. It's set to 10% on my PC, and it's still loud. Now it's really quiet. Can't win. That 1% made such a difference. Matteo gives Parik another one of those awkward shoulder pats, but it does have a relaxing effect on him, or at least it stops him erratically spinning them. Wow, another kindred who dims down the room. You've really got them by the dozen here in the Big Apple, huh? Yeah, she's kind of definitely one of them. Name's Mia, Talk's enforcer. Sort of big fish around here. Bigger than Talk sometimes. Easy, Paddy. You wouldn't want to catch him wind of that. Parik clears his throat in a uselessly mortal manner. Right, I believe that is our cue to go. Thanks again, Matteo. Don't mention it. But hey, you're welcome back anytime. Both of you. You got it, Vader. Parik gnashes his teeth so loudly that I can hear it a good 5 feet away, spinning his ring in such a violent and erratic manner that for a brief, bizarre moment, I think he's going to rip his finger off. So I make a brilliant, as always, decision to lighten the mood. Not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever met a kindred as charming and likable as Matteo. What's his deal? Where's he hiding the bodies? From what I gather, his skeletons are buried deep in his past. Matteo used to be quite the skilled thaumaturge once, delving into the darker arts, albeit reluctantly. His sire can be quite intense. Aren't they all? Right. I'm happy to report that my efforts seem to have worked. At least Parik straightens up and puts his hands in the pockets instead of maiming them with a twisty ring. Still, who knows what his little claws are doing to the lining of his coat. So, what's the plan now? I have to go see Talk. Yeah, I gathered, but a scary forced lady made it clear I wasn't invited to the party. You'll have to wait in the car then. Look, as much as I can use your perfectly serviceable car to be excellent company, we both know I can't just sit around doing nothing. Then I'll ask someone to keep an eye on you. It shouldn't take too long. Bullshit, you and your endless debates? I'll be old and grey by the time you come back. And that's not even an option anymore. Seriously, you handle Talk and I'll head over to Sunny's to look for that Skylar girl. That's not happening. Oh, come on. I've been the very model of temperance tonight. We've only been awake for mere hours. Letting hairs. I'm heading to Sunny's to wait for you there. Scout's honor. He sighs, rubbing tiredly at his eyes. If only we had some means of long-distance communication at hand. Can you imagine what we would do if we were able to hear our voices from miles apart? Alas, reality is much more cruel, at least under Camarilla rules. We could always try using pigeons. New York's got no shortage of them. Oh, so you're a comedian now. Hilarious. A shade of amusement crosses Parek's face, but he manages to swiftly suppress it. Look, as soon as you're out of options here, you'll have to come with me and wait for a bit. I'll figure out what Talk wants from me, and then... He trails off mid-sentence and stares blankly to the distance, hands joining together to spin his ring. I wave my hand in front of his face, but he doesn't even flinch. Talking about being out there, and trust me, I'm an expert on out there. After what seems like a lifetime, he finally speaks up, and I feel every single drop of predictability evaporate. Alright, let's meet at the Empire of the Sun in an hour. Hold up. For real? Empire of the Sun, 1 hour, do not let me down. And before I even have a chance to say anything, like maybe thanks or crack a joke, he turns on his heel, hops into his perfectly serviceable vehicle and drives off into the night. I feel right at home all alone and without anyone breathing down my neck. Surprisingly, to myself, and probably to Parek as well, I have no intention of bailing, not when there's a solid lead waiting for me at Sunny's. But then again, the night is young, lit up and gorgeous, and I'm alone in a city that never sleeps. Why not enjoy the scenic route?